Okay, welcome to the second video of Unit 9 on solving quadratic equations, and we're going to use something called the quadratic formula today, and that's the biggest part of today's lesson. You'll be able to solve a quadratic equation first by taking the square root or factoring, which is the old way, and then today we're going to learn a new way of solving, which again is just finding the x values that make an equation true. That's what solving means, find x. So if you ever see the instructions solve, you want to find what x is. So to begin, let's review the other ways we know how to solve quadratic equations. And the first way that we know is just by trying to get x alone by using inverse operations. And we did this all the way at the beginning of the year, but today we have the x squared in there, where we didn't have that at the beginning of the year. The first thing I want to do is use PEMDAS in reverse, which means I want to do the adding and subtracting first. So when I'm solving, I use the order of operations going right to left. So I want to solve. So first I'm looking for any adding and subtracting to do. I don't want to add or subtract the 12 because I want to keep the x alone in this case. So I'm going to skip the adding and subtracting. Multiplying and dividing, yes, I want to divide both sides by 3 in order to get the x by itself. So now I have x squared equals 12 divided by 3, which is 4. And finally, now I'm going to use the inverse operations, which technically this would fall under the exponent rule. I want to take the square root of both sides. Now, a lot of you incorrectly do this. A lot of you will take the square root and just get one answer. You'll get x is 2. But really, if you take the square root yourself in the equation, who's to say that negative 2 times negative 2 doesn't also equal 4? So I have x equals positive 2 or x equals negative 2. A quick hint. If you have something squared in your equation, you typically are going to have two answers. All right. And then the second example, again, we want to try to get x alone, but notice that I have an x squared and an x in this problem, where I didn't have that in the first one. I just had x squared, so I could have just taken the square root. Now in this case, if I have a squared term and a linear term, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to subtract the 3 over. I'm going to use the adding and subtracting of PEMDAS backwards. So now I have x squared plus 2x minus 3. Notice that the 2x and the 3 did not interact because they are not like terms. And now I have an equation set equal to 0, and really the only tools we have now is to factor. So I'm looking for things that multiply to be negative 3 and add to be positive 2. And I'm going to take advantage of the zero product property once I have this thing factored to set each factor equal to 0. Now, I'm not going to go into great depth on how I'm factoring this because we've done this for about a month and a half now. So I will take each factor. First, I guess I should check to make sure it works. 3x, negative 1x, okay, that works. I'll take each factor and set it equal to 0 and use inverse operations to solve. So in this case, you have x equals a negative 3 after subtracting 3 from both sides. Or if you add both sides by 1 on the right side, add 1 to both sides rather, you get the two answers that we're looking for because it's a quadratic equation. It should have two answers. Now we remember situations like the one on the right. Now again, there's no linear term on this one, so I'm going to use the strategy I used in the first example by just getting the x by itself. Now you should recall that if I try to take the square root in the next step, if I try to take the square root of both sides, you're going to have an issue. There's no number when multiplied by itself that gets me a negative 4, so in this case I would write no real solutions. I'm just going to abbreviate solutions there. So that is an overview of how we've solved or found x. Today, we're going to use a new strategy, and it's called the quadratic formula. So that's what this lesson is all about today, the quadratic formula. It says the solutions of the quadratic equation, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. That's really important. We have to make sure that one side of the equation is equal to 0. That's extremely important. It has to be set equal to 0. But if I have any equation, any quadratic equation, whether there's an x in the middle or not, that b could be 0. In that case, you just have ax squared plus something. The solutions are x equals the opposite of your b value. And I'm going to try to color code this so it's easier to follow. Negative b plus or minus, so you're going to get two answers there, the square root of b squared minus 4 times a, which again, I mean, these a's and b's and c's are the coefficients of your quadratic equation up here. So again, I'm color coding this, trying to make it easier to see. So x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by twice a, or 2 times a. And you're going to have to try to remember this. This is a formula that you're going to have to memorize, and you will use this, again, just like factoring throughout your entire career of math at West Fargo High School. Lucky for you, there's a little jingle or a song to help you remember this. It's kind of the theme of a Jack in the Box. Some of you have heard that, some of you haven't, but this is a little song you can kind of sing to yourself to help you remember it. X equals negative b, or opposite of b. So x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all over 2a. So I changed the words here to make it fit in my song better. So divided is when I say over, and opposite is negative. Again, I'll embarrass myself one more time. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all over 2a. So in this equation down here, if I want to solve it for x without having to do a lot of work of factoring or taking square roots, what I can do is just subtract 1 from both sides, because again, it needs to be set equal to 0. X squared plus 5x minus 1 equals 0. Now I'm going to identify what a is. What's a in this equation? Well, it's the leading coefficient. It'd be 1. What is the b value in this equation? Well, it's the second coefficient on the linear term, it's 5. And what is the c value? Well, after I moved it over from the other side, and again, that's extremely important, you have to make sure this is set equal to 0. My constant term was negative 1. Let's use my new formula here to help myself out. And remember, it goes x equals opposite of b, or negative b, so I'm going to plug that b in here, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so I put the 5 in there and I'm going to square it, minus 4ac. So I'm going to plug that in there. A was 1, c was negative 1, all over 2 times a, which is 2 times 1. And you see now that why it was so important all those times you practice the order of operations, because this is kind of a beast of a fraction, isn't it? Well, I'm going to tell you some tips here. What you want to do is you want to work on the inside first, inside the radical. Let's simplify inside of there first. So I'm going to leave this on the outside, and I guess technically I could simplify the outside really easy, negative 5 plus or minus. Now let's work on the inside only. Okay, 5 squared, 5 times 5 is 25. That first spot should always be positive because you're squaring it. Minus 4. And a times c, 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Okay? So it's starting to look a little bit better. Keep working on the inside of that radical and the radicand in there. So now I have negative 4 times a negative 1. That makes it positive 4 all over 2. And then negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 29 all over 2. And now we're at a place where things look a lot better than what they started with, right? And so this plus or minus thing, if you've never seen that before, besides when we solve for square roots, we're going to have two possible answers. We have negative 4 plus the square root of 29 over 2, or, so x equals that, or x equals negative 5 plus, or minus, I'm sorry, plus or minus. You see how this middle one, I'm going to highlight it for you. This guy changed. So on the right side, I have minus the square root of 29 over 2. Now we're going to type that into our calculator. I'm going to focus on that in class on Wednesday. So for right now, I'm just going to type it into my own calculator and get an answer. And we're going to first add and do the numerator first, negative 5 plus the square root of 29. In my calculator, that's 0.385. And I'm going to divide that. One moment. Took a second to type that all into my calculator, and I got about 0.19. I'm going to round to 2 decimal places. And in the other case, I'm going to have negative 5 minus the square root of 29, which ends up being about negative 10. And I'm going to divide that by 2. And so I get about, and this won't always work out, but negative 5.19. And when I say work out, we won't always have the same 2 decimal values after the whole number. So that was a lot of work, but it's really a useful tool if you don't know how to factor something or if you don't want to graph something. So in the first example up here, I want to identify what A, B, and C is. Well, A is 1. I used the wrong color. I'm using red for A. So A is 1. What's B? B is 9. C is 14. Now this one factors a lot easier, and so I'm just going to, on the side here, factor it because I know this thing is going to be, oops, if I can get this to work, 1 second, x plus 7, x plus 2. So I know my answer should be negative 2 and negative 7. But I'm just going to use the quadratic formula just to practice it. So x equals the opposite of b, so negative 9, plus or minus the square root, and I have b squared now, 9 squared, minus 4ac. So I'm going to write a and c in there. A is 1, c is 14. Oops, where's the blue there? All over 2a. So there's the 2, and then here's a. So let's simplify this now. Again, work on the top of the fraction first. Negative 9 plus or minus square root. 9 squared is 81 minus, and then it's going to be 4 times 1 times 14. Okay, all over 2. So negative 9 plus or minus. Now I have 4 times 1. Negative 4 times a positive 1 is negative 4. So negative 4 at 14 here. 2. I'm not doing too many steps at once because I don't want to get messed up here. So negative 4 times 14. I'm going to use a calculator just to speed things up. 4 times 14 is 56. So I have 81, and it's a negative times a positive, so I have negative 56 all over 2. And so I have x equals, and again, this is all x equals. I have negative 9. What's 81 minus 56? It should be 25. And why is this one easier? Well, we know what the square root of 25 is, right? I don't even have to use a calculator for this one. If I just scroll down here and give myself some more room, I have x equals a negative 9 plus the square root of 25, which is 5, or x equals negative 9 minus the square root of 25 over 2. And so that makes it much easier. Negative 9 plus 5, well, negative 9 plus 5 would be negative 4 over 2. And then negative 9 minus 5 is negative 14 over 2. And guess what? Negative 4 over 2, negative 2. Negative 14 over 2, negative 7. It's the same answer as what we got by factoring, but using a really large equation. Now, common sense tells you that if I can factor it, just do that. That's way easier than the quadratic formula. But the quadratic formula will always, always work as long as you have the quadratic equation set equal to 0. So in this case, I want to subtract 8 from both sides. I'm going to go a little bit faster in this example. I have 2x squared minus 3x minus 8 equals 0. I'm going to identify the a, b, and c. The a is going to be positive 2. The b is going to be negative 3. And after I subtract that 8 to the other side, c is negative 8. And again, I could try to factor this, but I'm just going to practice using the quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, and a was 2, c was negative 8, all over 2a. Now look at what a is this time. It's not just 1, it's going to be 2. So let's simplify. Negative times a negative makes a positive 3, plus or minus the square root of negative 3 squared is 9. Negative 4 times positive 2 is negative 8, times another negative 8, all over 4. So I have 3 plus or minus the square root. Negative 8 times 8 is 64. So I have 9 plus 64, because it's a negative times a negative, all over 4. So I have 3 plus or minus the square root of 73, all over 4. I'm going to use my calculator to simplify those. I got x is either 2.89 or x is negative 1.39. Now there's one more example left, I believe, but we'll do that in class. Thank you for watching, and have a good evening.